We are live. Action, lights, camera. All right. And welcome to the Nexus, everybody. I'm James at the Idol Smasher, and we've got here waiting in the wings is the one, the only Rosalie. She is in now. Hello, Rosalie. I'm supposed to. There you are. Okay, she's coming in.
Hey,
Hi. How you doing?
I'm here.
We're here. This is the Nexus, a weekly, and we got it on time. We're actually back on time, like we're supposed to be. 8 p.m. Central Thursdays, right here. Time to talk Torah. Time to talk all things Torah related, which is pretty much the world. So glad to have you here. I'm going to put a link over here in the live chat for everybody. For all. There it is. This is the link. You'll see it says Studio Rumble or Rumble Studio. That's where you go. You don't need a camera, but you do need a microphone, and you are invited every Thursday right here on Rumble. We stream live to X and YouTube as well. So to our visitors and viewers over there, thank you. To our few followers that are still around over there, we're gaining ground here on Rumble, and that's kind of like good too. That's probably a really good sign. We'll also put here in the chat for all to see. Thank you, Rosalie. Link to this week's report. You can also find it in the description down there if you're not watching live. And it's a jam-packed week to talk Torah. It's a jam-packed week to talk just about everything, really, isn't it? It's crazy out there.
Oh, can we say full moon syndrome? Oh my God! Holy crap! It's been
prepping for it early too.
On everything, every department, everywhere.
Well, we got a lot going on here in these United States of America, and the past half hour, I just got wind that Israel's starting its attacks on Iran.
Really?
Yes.
Well, I saw Rabbi Gab's post, but then when I heard from Ari Fold's brother, with the same post, it's like, okay, something's up.
Yeah, they're doing a live stream right now, a couple of the networks. Not that we want you to leave here.
No.
But so we're attacking Iran. Good. May this be a final victory for Israel. May it be the last one. Persia needs to go. Persia's over. Persia's corrupted beyond redemption.
Mm-hmm.
And they need to be eliminated. So eliminate
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah. Sad thing is, Iran's just a flippin' gorgeous country. You know, it's beautiful. It's awe-inspiring. There are sites there that put some of ours here in the States to shame. I know we got the Grand Canyon and whatnot. You should see what they've got over there. It's immensely beautiful, and too bad so many of them are idiots. And, sad thing is we kind of helped do it, our country, about 80 years ago. But we did.
They've had help since then.
They've had a lot of help. Stupid help. And, play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. So really, I'm not too...
It's like enough's enough.
Yeah.
You had your 13 minutes, you had your 15 minutes of fame. We're over it now.
We're all over it. We're over it here in the States, too.
Saturday, apparently.
They start the memes early this week. Yeah, that's how good it's getting here.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What were you saying?
I was going to say Saturday, there's I guess, I don't know if it's nationwide, but I've been told it was. They're going to be protesting.
Oh, the No King's Day.
Yeah, whatever that is.
Oh, he's a president. He's a king. We want king.
Whatever.
Trump. I stubbed my toe today. White supremacists. Oh, here you go. Here, let's talk Israeli news. Let's talk about Israeli news right now.
Yes.
So this Swedish doom goblin and Liam Neeson, which I always loved Liam Neeson, as even in Game of Thrones, I thought he was really interesting guy, and just I love what he plays. He comes over there with that doom goblin, and they're going to break the barricade, the borders, and we're going to get aid to Israel. It's much needed. That the genocidal Israelis won't let them have food. Well,
that's the guy from Pink Floyd, right?
No, Liam Neeson. He's an actor. He's in. I think the biggest thing he's in lately was Game of Thrones, but he's been everywhere
Okay.
since like the '90s. English actor, likable,
Yeah.
charming, charismatic guy, and obviously a dumbass. The thing, they're on a sailboat. It's moving in one direction. The Palestinian flag is flying in the opposite direction to make the boat go anywhere. So it's a motorboat, but they had to put the sails out. And these people don't even know how to sail with a triangular sail that the Arabs gave the world. Come over there to feed the anyway. Yeah. So Doom Goblin got returned back to her.
You got to send me that so I can post it.
She was deported. How dare you put her in coach? How dare you? And then you have other people saying, "Oh, they flew her back because it was insulting to her because she doesn't fly in."
I'm going, yeah, whatever. She's the only hostage that they got rid of.
Yeah, all the others decide to stay there. Yeah, in solidarity, we stay here and good. It's like, no, I'm going back home to Sweden.
No, only 2 of them stayed.
Oh, only 2 now?
Yeah.
Oh well. How bad is it where they came from?
How bad they took her hostage and they sent her away.
Yeah.
With lunch.
I still think the IDF needs to release T-shirts that say, "I came to invade Gaza and all I got was this delicious sandwich."
Nice.
Because that's what she needs. Okay, more memes. Let's just keep going with the memes. Yeah, that's the American left. Now this is a little more America-centric. I hope it doesn't offend too many people. But if you know what's going on in California right now and what's gone on in California beforehand, this meme right here will explain it to you as well. Because we kind of fund these socialist, communist heaps of living garbage. They keep giving your taxpayer money to these people. It's a very well-funded riot. Where do they get the shields? Where do they get the masks? Where do they get the food to feed themselves while they're there for days without jobs?
It's orchestrated.
So, we really have to think about what we're doing in this day and age because, and this is just a little reminder to everybody out there. This might be meme of the week because it's.
Send me that one too.
Your local businesses keep 100% of the cash. The value of the dollar is 100% with cash. It's not taxed. There's no fees. It all goes to them. They don't have to pay a fee for it. So, and finally, yeah.
That's awesome.
Real good one. She's come back and apologized since then, but
yeah, I know. But even still, it's like really.
She should know better, and she's badass. I love Simone. I had a thing for her back in 2019, 2020, and then she dropped out and quit. Why don't you convince all the trans to do that with you? They can quit and you can quit and everybody will be happy. It's your own stupid league for your perverts. Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. No, it's not. I love President Trump, but when he's telling Netanyahu, don't mess up anything to get in the way of the hostage, the deal we're making with Iran. Don't start anything that's going to endanger our deal. Israel's like, I'll be right back. I got to do something real quick over here. Which leads me to a holdover from yesterday.
Hold my wine.
Yeah. from last week's, or the week before, I had to put it up. I couldn't help it because it's just too good. And may every last one of the enemies of Israel fall. Fall and fall hard once and king for all. The world is done. We're done with it. Okay? Americans love what's going on the streets, not the riots. They like the fact that there's, for once, and I get it, Trump didn't want to be the authoritarian president back in the day in 2020, and he left it up to the governors as to whether they would send a National Guard and stop this BS. Well, after the Summer of Love in 2020, I think we've learned our lesson. And while they keep trashing him, I know there are at least 3 polls that put him above. One poll puts him behind, but everybody's up one way or another in support of him and what he's doing.
Right.
So it's got to be done. You can't have 20 million people just flood over your borders. You got to get rid of them. You got to get rid of them. And if your parents never documented you or they were never documented, they've been here for 15, 20 years, they had chances. They've had paths to citizenship out there right and left. Even freaking Reagan gave them amnesty. So there's a way, but you chose not to do it. So I don't want to hear about it, Grandma. Okay, Mama Sota? I want to hear about it, Senora. You had your chances, Senor.
Oh,
You had your chances, and you didn't
that
take it.
reminds me.
You gone, but these 20 million ruined it for you. I'm
Yep.
Texan, so half of my culture is Hispanic anyway.
Right.
Um, I have nothing but love, but I mean, if you didn't make an effort by now, don't gripe if you get caught up in the because they ruined it
In
for
the
you.
backwash, right?
What do you mean?
When you get caught in the backwash.
Oh yeah. Sadly,
Hmm.
and I hope that happens as little as possible or none at all. Um, I happen to like Tejano folk.
I really enjoy. I have been watching a lot of me videos of our leaders, and they are coming across all business, no nonsense. Don't take shit from anybody. They are very sober, very direct, and just get her done. It's like all of them. It's like yes, I have been enjoying that.
Me
Because the
too.
time the adults came home,
Right? And really, that it is kind of a childish government we had before. And if you want to know, let me look at my notes here because I could go off. I'm having a good night. I just poured a beer. I haven't had any yet, but cheers, America! Bible and beer, two great things the Lord has given us to
L'chaim.
deal with the world in that we live in today. Okay, something I want to bring up. Non-Jew comes up to Elisha the prophet, says, "I want to be. I'm sick. I've got sickness here, skin disease. What do I do? Wash yourself in the Nile 7 times."
Mhm.
Now, why 7 times? Why would he say 7 times? And why do Christians only dunk once? Just saying.
Not necessarily once. Sometimes, if you're in the Catholic, they baptize you 3 times.
That well, that's a start. It's just not all at once, right? And
You
not by
got the
choice on the
Father,
first
the
couple.
Son, and the Holy Ghost. Amen.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
7 laws.
Mhm.
7 laws. Why is society happening? Why is good things happening to bad people? Are you keeping the 7? Well, okay then. Keep the 7 and see what happens.
Right.
um, also, I want to talk a bit of Taoism because I've been looking into some of the old videos I used to like here on this channel and the YouTube channel. I have a playlist, and one of them, a couple of them on there, have some Taoist-based notions. For instance, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Very Taoist. I would agree. Um, what I thought profound about certain notions of Taoism is that the Tao doesn't care if you know that it's balanced. And there's a wisdom in Judaism I found that it's already taken care of. I work in a restaurant. I'm doing a 20-something-year-old's job at my age at 50. And well, might I add, I'm not failing at it, but I'm doing some hard work, and I would like, the jobs that a lot of 50-year-old dudes my age have, and and whatnot. And the threat of money and the threat of not paying bills, and I do forget that it's not that I need to worry about. It's about him. It's about his way. It's not about. It's not about doing the getting a better job, or if you want to move up in the world, you have to do this, or
Now,
it's
you know what they say at Rosh Hashanah, right?
hmm.
They
Well,
open the
maybe
books. They open the books, and whatever money you're going to make for the year, God has already decreed.
yeah.
What he's going to take away and what you're going to keep and what he's going to give, that's already been predetermined.
Now, explain Rosh Hashanah. That's the head of the coming year. So what what Rosalie's saying to us here is, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that everything you do in the year prior determines what you're going to get in the year coming. Can you change God's mind? Yes. in my opinion. Uh,
Sometimes, yeah.
yes, there is a possibility. You can petition, whether the petition's accepted, yada yada, but you can through charity and through mitzvot.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's all balanced already. And one of the tenets of Taoism is the universe is functioning as it should. So what's the problem? And sometimes you have to take a passive stance at Torah. While Torah is much action and law and do's and don'ts and really do and don't, but I'm not going to punish you if you do. There's a whole kind, but in the end, it's if your struggle, my struggle, our struggle as humans on the planet, as a society, as societies, nations, is eh, it's already going to work out anyway. So why? They say that anger is a form of idolatry because you're angry at you're. I disagree with that, but when it's all God's will anyway, why be angry? I get that, but if God
Now,
creates evil,
how dare that happen to me? Well, who are you to tell God that that is to happen to you or not happen to you? Think about it.
I love the well. If he was a virtuous God, he would do exactly what I would say, and If he was a righteous God, he wouldn't allow this to happen. What if he wanted it to happen? It was just unpleasant, but it had to be done for something else.
Don't stunt your growth.
So there are things in Taoism I do believe are I don't want to say kosher, but are no more kosher than the fruit of the vine, or the root of the earth. Uh, it's not it's not you can't make a vegetable kosher. I guess you can. There are ways in developing nature that you can cause something you're not allowed to eat, but for the most part, it provides you what you need and it's fine. In Taoism, it teaches you the universe is indeed balanced.
Mhm.
And while this is a place for fighting and for war, or else there wouldn't be any, um, that's also an act of balance and an act of balancing an imbalance that might be. So, I had a much bigger thing set up for this, but when I heard we were attacking Iran, I kind of lost it. But no, Taoists out there, if you really get, it's hard for me to when someone asks for wisdom, is someone did at work, and the first thing I want to give them is a chumash and a siddur and a copy of the Noahide laws in the world of the Ger.
Mhm.
That's going to be some complicated, hardcore, overbearing stuff for people. But I would, and I have given out many copies of the Tao Te Ching. Stephen Michael does, or Mitchell does a wonderful translation. Um,
Well, all you need
because
to do
it's
is get in the Talmud and find out what you're preaching about through Taoism, and you'll probably find it in the Talmud.
probably in the Gemara as well.
Exactly.
Um,
Let the
it's
Pashat
just
stand.
it's just a pocketbook. It's a nice thumbnail, a nice starter, something you can give to somebody, and if they blow it off, they blow it off. And if they take it and they can gain some wisdom, it's just nice. Now, yes, is there a religion created around it? Yes, but men create religions around a lot of stupid stuff. So let's not blame a nice book that Lao Tzu wrote 2,000 years ago or 1,000 years ago, whatever. And it's not idolatrous. It's not anti-God. It's not anti-Israel. It's just some wisdom. And I do believe that it's a great starter set to Torah wisdom. Uh, Nice way of getting rid of a lot of the Western zhush before you come to Torah, um, before you get serious. Because Torah is kind of serious. It's kind of serious. It's
Just a tad
funny.
bit.
It's funny. It was funny this week. It was funny last week a little bit, but um, you want meat? I'll give you meat till it's coming out of your nose.
Right.
No, God provides them the perfect heavenly food that provides no waste in the body, nourishes all of it. It's as collectible as dew on the earth in the morning.
Hmm.
and they couldn't stop whining about meat. Well, why don't we go back to Egypt? At least in Egypt, we could have some meat once in a while. I don't want to eat this manna. It tastes like honey light, and I don't like honey. I want and you want meat so bad, I'm going to make it come out your nose. That's funny to me. I thought that was a funny response, and that's what happened. Gave them more meat than they could handle, to teach them a lesson. So there's
They
humor. There's a
gorged
lot of
themselves and died.
there's well okay. There's that might not, but yeah, it's kind of funny still. Is that Moses' humor or is that God's humor? I don't know, and I don't think it matters because I think it's wonderful. There's a lot of humor in Torah, a lot of humor in Judaism.
But
The way
wait,
the
there's
rabbis
more.
argue. Yeah.
Yeah, the 10 plagues. But wait, there's more.
Go to the Talmud and read some of the arguments between the rabbis, and Jews had a sense of humor 1,000, 2,000 years ago too. So even when they're serious, I'm not saying they're not serious about they're making fun of, they're making light of, but their humor is just stands out. The reason why so many Jews are good at comedy, their God's funny as hell.
Right.
You
got a great sense of humor.
You do have a Lord. All things come from the Lord, including humor. So why wouldn't the Jews be good at humor? All the duties of the Levites this week, and the Parsha. By the way, the Parsha's chapter 8 starts on chapter 8 of Bamidbar, also known as Numbers. Yes, it translates to Numbers, and I did say something last week. God and man in the desert. It's called Numbers. It's only been called Numbers because they take the first big word out of the first sentence of the book, and that's what it's named after.
Well, they had the census too, so
yeah, and it was the census. It was counting basically, and it's like counting. And it's like this is an action packed. This is like Exodus. This is got law, but it's action packed.
It's the pedigree.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that.
You want to find out who your tribe is and all that, you go back your genealogy and find out, and there's everybody. That's a great start to the genealogies right there. If you're into that sort of stuff, it'll find your tribe if you're not of Judah, or which one tribes you're from. It's your pedigree. Pedigree, just not for dogs, okay?
Right. It's true.
The AKC does not have a whatchamafrickiana. I can't think. I had the word right out of my mind. I'm like,
how do you
they don't have a corner on they don't have a corner on the pedigree market. Let's put it there.
Whatchamafrickiana? Tell me how to spell that so I can look it up. No. So okay. So with this is another point I wanted to make. I know I'm in the middle of looking at the Parsha, but the Torah is not a book of law, no more than it's a book of history. Does it contain law? Yes. Is it a book of law? No. There's a lot more to the Torah than law. Where's the law in the creation?
That would be in the Talmud. The law's in the Talmud.
Well, I mean, there's biblical law, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's subject to change, and it's subject to change.
Biblical law?
Yeah. God can say one thing, but if you get the majority of the elders together agreeing on something, he'll change it. Remember that with the handwriting on the wall and all that?
Maybe. It also contains Agadah. It's not all halacha. It's not all law. There's more. Right. There are bigger concepts taught. It means teaching. Torah doesn't mean law. It means teaching. So there are, and the point of what I'm saying here is something I've been watching the Noahide groups, or the couple, 3 that I'm in, whatever. The Torah is not a book of law only. Neither is a Noahide. Neither is a Ger. The Ben Noach is not a set of laws. And we like to reduce each other and reduce the whole point of the thing to law.
Right.
So, who is a Noahide in the world? Well, a Noahide is someone who follows the 7 laws of Noah. These being, it's like, okay, but what about the man in the world? Well, if you're a Noahide in the world, you have to keep 7 Noahide laws, and the 7 Noahide laws are great thing about chlorophene and cats is they ask who is the ger, who is the Noahide. Well, the Noahide is someone who follows 7 Noahide laws. Well, no, you can be an atheist vegan and keep the 7 Noahide laws. Shut up. I can't stand y'all Noahides. If you're watching, stop it with the 7 laws crap. You know who you bring up the 7 laws to? Christians, Muslims, Buddhists, Taoists, Hindus. You don't bring it up to fellow Noahides. If you reduce what you are to 7 universal categories of law in the Torah and that's it, then you're worthless. You're meaningless. It's the 21st century. Nobody rips the leg off a donkey and eats it, except maybe in Korea and a few other scattered places in the world. Nobody does it.
No
Everybody
sushi
knows
for
murder's
you.
wrong. You
Okay.
have to kill the fish first, proper way. And
Not
yes,
necessarily.
what? When is sushi wrong? Well,
Huh?
Passover. I'm thinking of sushi, just eating raw fish.
Yeah, but the fish doesn't necessarily need to be dead for them to get it. They could still be
Oh,
alive, and they'll fillet them.
yeah, well,
Yeah, think about it.
still got to kill the animal. Most people,
Yeah,
most civilized countries, all people on all 6 inhabiting continents know it's wrong to rip the leg off a giraffe and chow down. They
right.
know murder is wrong. They know theft is wrong. Even blasphemy, although it's that term's been watered down, is still a no-no. Which watering down does nothing but uh, blind you from what the actual law is, and I don't think Jesus was the Son of God. Blasphemy! No, that's not bad.
Mhm.
Uh,
Okay.
all right,
Right.
so
You're going to hell.
you old fry boy.
I got to interrupt you because you're getting too serious. I'm sitting over here cracking up a little bit because you said God's got a great sense of humor, right?
Right.
Okay, I'm in the second portion on 24.
Okay.
And it goes, this is the rule concerning the Levites. From 25 years old and over, they must enter the service of the work to the tent of the meeting. When they are 50 years old, they must retire from the work troop and do no more work. They must serve with their brethren in the tent of the meeting to keep the charge, but they must not perform the service. Thus, you must deal with the Levites regarding their charge. Oh my God, they're going from working the regular floor shift to being a Walmart greeter. All right, I'm sorry. That's exactly what it's like. That's funny. I don't care who you are.
You still got to show up. You
That's
still got to
right.
show up, but you can't change oil no more. Okay.
That's right. Welcome to the tent of the meeting. Take your seat and shut the
Yeah.
fuck up. Okay. I'm sorry. It was just a joke. I mean, I'm sorry. They hit me. It's like I'm sitting there going, okay. And I've been sitting here biting my nails while you're going out of this rant, and I couldn't hold it any longer. I couldn't hold it any longer. Yeah, you're going from the kitchen. You're now the host. Okay. You're now the door greeter. Hey.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
like you hear Walter. Welcome to Walmart. Get your shit and get out. Yeah, but I couldn't help it. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's
Makes it a
don't
perfectly good rant, and it's like I had to
no.
throw that in there.
That's fine. That's perfect. Just
That's
don't be.
funny shit right there. Yeah. Okay. Hey, who wants to retire at 50? Me. That ain't happening. Yeah, it ain't
Nope.
happening.
Nope.
Damn. Yep, I'm not a millionaire yet, so I can't afford to live.
No. We're just the working slobs.
That's right. We're
Worker
the
bees.
drones. We're the drones. That's why they say drone, 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 drone.
I'm C3PO. She's R2D2.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. Oh man.
But I had to say that. I'm sorry. I read that
That's
and it's like,
okay.
guess what? Walmart greeter. It's like, all right.
You still have to show up for work, but stay out of the
Uh-huh.
way of the youngins.
That's right. Right.
uh,
Um. So, anywho,
One of these days, I want to sit down and just and find the list of all the places that the Israelites arrested at, and find out what they all mean, because they're not geological places. Um, they're described in Torah as things that they have to deal with, but my Hebrew is lacking, of course.
well, I'm getting the Talmud and read it in English and try to figure it out.
There's a way. There is a way.
Like I said, you can't understand the Torah unless you have the Talmud to go with it. The oral Torah has to be with it in order for you to understand.
I think it was Russell who brought up in one of the groups. If the old Torah is not real, who are the names of um, Cain and Abel, or it was or Abel and or Cain and Seth's, descendants? What were their children's names, or who are their wives' names? And they do have names, but they're not in the
Mhm.
written Torah. And I brought this up then. I guess I'll bring it up now, real quick. The written Torah itself prescribes the oral Torah. When God says, when you slaughter an animal, do it in the manner in which I've shown you. Um, there's no pictures. There's no diagrams. And from what I understand, all the 22 letters of the Hebrew Bible don't make out any picture of anything. And that there's no way. You can't know it. You have to see it done. That means that people at the time knew how to properly slaughter. If you don't think they knew how to slaughter before the written Torah, how did Israel give a proper slaughter? How did Isaac give a proper slaughter? How did Abraham give a proper slaughter? These were offerings that God accepted. Is there a double standards anywhere in the written Torah about how to slaughter an animal? No, between Jew and non-Jew, or anybody post Sinai, anybody? No, it's the same manner. Noah knew it. Our greatest grandfather of humanity knew it. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. So there's obviously a way to understand the Torah better. You just have to listen to the Jews.
Yeah, and you have to know, you have to, their ways and our ways were like way, they're at the other end of each spectrum, you know?
Oh
It's
yeah,
like,
we have
unless you have
plenty.
a working knowledge of how they lived day in, day out, it won't make sense. A lot of things won't make sense until you actually, okay, once you have a working knowledge of how they lived and what their customs were, then things make sense. Why this was said and why that wasn't said. But you need the oral Torah for that.
And the thing is that humans function kind of on that level anyway. Back then, we don't like to admit it.
Well,
We
let's
get
look at it
better.
this
We
way.
do get better.
What?
Go
No,
ahead.
no, 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 no. If anything, we're getting dumber. Closer to God, the smarter they were. And we are so far away from God, and we're so stupid now. Gee, can you not tell?
Yeah,
Yeah, there's one thing that,
we're getting there.
again, God bless Rabbi Reuven. He came up with something on if you can hear his Sunday sermon, he's doing something, and remind me of that when we're off the air. Because some things I don't want to say, and some things I do.
Okay.
Because they're my speculations and it's not necessarily true. A lot, it could be, it could not be, but it's like, what if and this is why I miss Ross. Ross used to, Ross, if we studied, it's like, I'm as dumb as they come. And Ross is like Mr. Investigative Detective, and he knows it all. And it's like, he's so smart. And I mean, when I study with him, I get things and I get off track, but what I do get is what I need to hear, and it kind of makes him mad, I think, because it might not make sense to him, but because I get off track, and he tries to keep me on track so he can teach me something. But
He was
anyway,
such a gentle man with it as
yes,
well. He can give you the most rock hard or the most rock shattering wave in the softest, gentlest way.
Yes.
Uh, so Ross, if you're out there, Mr. Bearden,
We love you, miss
we lo-
you.
we miss you. Yes, we do. He's still active down there at Ativ outside of Houston, and
Yep.
so
He's got his Facebook
bless him.
account back, I think.
Email me a link. I'm not sure who
Mhm.
you are. Maybe I should be looking you up. I don't know who you are. Email me a link. I would love to email you a link, but I don't know who you are. There's a link in the over here in the chat. In the chat, go for it. Go for it. I see it's up on both Rumble and YouTube right now. So come on in, man.
Mhm.
Are you kidding? I'm thinking it might be Yohanan. I don't know. Um,
Yeah, because John would have hit me up by now.
uh,
But yeah,
oh,
okay. How about some half Torah?
we can do that. Yeah, I had. Oh, one more thing I wanted to say about the those who criticize Israel, because this was brought up this week in this week's Torah portion. Miriam.
Yes.
Now, Miriam is a prophetess. Okay.
She is Moses' and Aaron's sister.
Yes, and she's nothing to be trifled with. Okay, she's a venerated human being in the Torah. Like I say, she's a prophetess. Um, but she kind of, she said some stuff. She kind of spoke out against Moses, basically wanting to belittle him. Is why should Moses be the only person that leads? And she got saras.
There
And you
was
see
some
the
discussion about his first wife. That's a lot of it.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yes.
yeah. With Yohev, with
The Canaanite woman, or
Sephora.
we, yeah.
Let me see if I can find. I didn't mark this time. It just hit me. Yeah, she talked some heavy smack on him, and it cost her.
Yep.
And the spirit of God, all the people were ready to go and ready to move, and they had to wait 7 days because she was outside the tent. When you get saras, you have to isolate yourself from
Yep.
all the people. And one of the big reasons you get biblical leprosy, it's not leprosy, it's saras. We call it leprosy because that's what it looks like when you get the same thing from armadillos that carry that. It's not the same thing, but it looks similar. It's not. It's a spiritual, although all
It's a
diseases have a
spiritual
spiritual,
disease. It's not
but
physical.
this is one that shows up on you. And like, Rosalie was saying, the closer you are to God, the closer you are in proximity to the Holy of Holies.
Hmm.
It's your negativity will affect you. And this is showing that mankind's morality has a direct influence in the physical world.
There it was. Okay.
We don't want to believe that, but Saras is a perfect example. And here's Miriam. I
Yep.
mean, Moses' sister gave him flack, and it was so bad she got a disease that she had to be removed from the camp, be embarrassed because everybody's going to know. When you get kicked out of, when you got Saras, everyone knows why. It's
Yeah.
kind of embarrassing.
It's chapter 7, verse 10, around there.
All right. Oh, it was back a bit then. Okay, I thought that was in this week's portion.
It is.
Um, this week's
Behaalotecha.
portion only goes back to 8.
No, this is shoot. This is a seventh portion. Numbers chapter 11, and then it goes Numbers 12, and that's Numbers 12 is where they
Okay, no, here it is.
that's
12. I
yeah,
see.
Numbers 12 is where Miriam and Aaron were speaking about the Cushite woman. That right.
How he had divorced the Cushite woman he had married. For he had married a Cushite woman, they said, "Has God spoken only to Moses? Has he not spoken to us too?"
Okay, the point of the matter is what people don't know is what you learn in the Talmud about why they were speaking against this, and they had no business doing because they were getting in his business. Moses married the Cushite woman, but he never had sex with her. They didn't
Huh.
have any children. He never had sex with her. So this is why, again, like I said, when you get in the Talmud and you learn a little background. So this is why Miriam, they were talking about her, and Moses is like, it's none your business. It's like none your business. And that's why it happened like that. That's the reason, because Moses was humble, and they were, it's like, why are you questioning Moses' thing? He didn't do anything wrong,
He
which
was
is a little
faithful.
shanhara, you know.
Hmm.
But that's the way it was explained to me. So here's a little nugget that if you didn't get the nuggets, there you go.
The 10 plagues, Sinai, the pillar of cloud and fire.
But wait, there's more.
But you gotta gripe at Moses. You gotta give him smack. He's like, maybe things are going like they're supposed to be going. Maybe things, maybe maybe the world is balanced, and we just have to have faith.
Hmm.
I hate to say that. Oh, I just say that out loud. I never like to say that on the air. I cannot stand the idea.
What'd you say?
Have faith,
Oh,
because faith is too much in the world, and uh, Judaism is about knowing God, not having faith. You have faith in other things, but anyway, you have to have faith. Yeah, you have to go with the flow. Go with what God says. Bada boom, bada bing. Do it. Just do it.
okay. You have faith that your rabbis are telling you correctly.
Well, they would know more than I. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, yes, yes. James Gosnell and group brought up. It was I don't know if he was saying it for my sake, and I don't think it was now, but you don't need the Jews to know God and keep the law. And I said, well, kind of, sort of. You need to be taught. And he's like, oh, you need an intercessor. I mean, a Christian group or one that talked with missionaries. And I was like, no, you don't need to intercede. They don't intercede for you. They are there to guide you, teach you. They
Hmm.
know more than you about it. So they're your guru. They're your friends. Um, and that's what it means. There was a video on there, but I don't know if I talked about this last week or week before, but a guy was going around asking Jews, "Are the non-Jews going to be slaves when the Messiah comes to the Israelite people?" And
No.
they didn't get it at first because they're not thinking Western. They're busy being Jews that know English. And it's like, well, yes, but they're not slaves. It's they will know who we are, and they will serve God. The way Torah is given, and we provide them a place to do that. We provide them the house for all nations, but they cut these conversations out where you're not going to be slave to the Jews. You're going to be
No.
slave to God.
Okay. Half Torah time.
After time, yes, ma'am. Okay,
Or is what they would call Zachariah, or what English people say is
Zachariah.
Zechariah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Chapter 2, verse 14.
I've been waiting for that beer all day. I've been waiting to do it here. Oh,
Okay. Am I reading or are you reading?
you read last week. I want to read this week.
Okay.
I think you read last time. Okay,
I don't care. It's like, if you're drinking beer, drink beer. I don't care.
is that?
Yeah, have one for me and tell me I liked it. It's
It was
only because I
delicious.
can't leave here to do it.
Soon, soon, hopefully.
Yeah.
Okay, Zechariah chapter 2, verse 14. Our half Torah begins. Sing and rejoice, O daughter of Zion, for behold, I will come and dwell in your midst, says the Lord. And many nations shall join the Lord on that day, and they shall be my people, and I will dwell in your midst, and ye shall know that the Lord of hosts sent me to you.
Boom. There is your answer to your question. Will everybody be slaves to the Jews? That just answered it right there. Okay. Continue.
Okay. And the Lord shall inherit Judah as his share on the Holy Land, and he shall again choose Jerusalem, since all flesh from before the Lord, for he is aroused out of his holy habitation. Chapter 3. And he showed me Joshua, the high priest, standing before the angel of the Lord, and Satan was standing on his right to accuse him. And the Lord said to Satan, the Lord shall rebuke you, O Satan, and the Lord shall rebuke you, he who chose Jerusalem. Is this one not a brand plucked from the fire? Now Joshua was wearing filthy garments and standing before the angel. And the angel raised his voice and said to those standing before him, saying, Take the filthy garments off him. And he said to him, See, I have removed your iniquity from you, and I have clad you with clean garments. And I said, Let them put a pure mitre on his head. And they put a pure mitre on his head, and they had clothed him with garments white, while the angel, the Lord, was standing. And the angel of the Lord warned Joshua, saying, So said the angel of hosts, If you walk in my ways, and if you keep my charge, you too shall judge my house, and you too shall guard my courtyards, and I will give you free access among those who stand by. Hearken now, Joshua the high priest, you and your companions who sit before you, for they are men worthy of a miracle. For behold, I bring my servant, the shoot. For behold, the stone that I have placed before Joshua, 7 eyes are directed to one stone. Behold, I unite its knots, says the Lord of hosts.
You
And I
untie
will,
its knots.
I'm going to what?
You
Oh my
untie
goodness.
the knots.
Unite, untie. Isn't that an interesting? Wow.
Yeah. A little dyslexic today, are we?
It's it's
It's
it's
full
just
moon syndrome.
it's just one beer and it's not done. I promise y'all. Okay. This is why Rose. Thank you, Rosalie, for being here. Behold,
Hmm.
I untie its knots. Says I'm going to start from 9. For behold, the stone that I have placed before Joshua, 7 eyes are directed to one stone. Behold, I untie its knots, says the Lord of hosts, and I will remove the iniquity of that land in one day. On that day, says the Lord of hosts, you shall call each man to his neighbor to come under his vine and under his fig tree. And the angel who spoke with me returned, and he awakened me as a man who awakes from his sleep. And he said to me, What do you see? And I said, I saw, and behold, there was a candelabrum of gold, with its oil bowl on top of it, and its 7 lamps thereon, 7 tubes each to the lamps that were on top of it. And there were 2 olive trees near it, one on the right of the bowl and one on its left. By the way, olive oil is what they use to in most lamps in this day and age. And there were 2 trees. Okay. So I answered and spoke to the angel who walked with me, saying, What are these, my Lord? And the angel who spoke with me answered, and he said to me, Do you not know what these are? And I said, No, my Lord. And he answered and spoke to me, saying, This is the word of the Lord of Zerubbabel, saying,
Two. 2-0, not of 2.
This is the word of Lord. Oh, this is the word of the Lord to Zerubbabel, saying, Not my military force and not my physical strength, but my spirit, says the Lord of hosts. Who are you, O great mountain? Before Zerubbabel, you sink to a plain. He will he will bring out the stone of the main architect with shouts of grace, grace to it. Maybe I
Okay.
should have had you read it.
No, I keep thinking Uncle Mike's class. I mean, uh, it was the class on Zechariah was awesome. That and Malachi,
Yeah,
Zechariah is the male version, Malachi is the female. Yeah, it was awesome.
we studied them both here, didn't we? Or at least read through
Hmm.
them. Yeah, maybe we should go back.
Yeah. Yep, yep, yep. I don't know if he had a class this week or not.
I think he does some classes and kind of releases them sometimes all at once. I think didn't he release
Well,
like
there's a reason for that. So,
sure. I know he's got a lot dealing. I know he's dealing with a lot right now, family matters
hmm
and such. Holy One, the Holy One, blessed be He, shall rebuke you, O Satan. This is Rashi. And then he repeated and said, The Lord shall rebuke you. He who chose Jerusalem, And this is Moharaz Magoliath.
I don't know.
Uh,
Okay. I got
and,
commentaries and hold on.
and he who rebukes you is the one who chose Jerusalem, that you shall not enter before him to accuse this righteous man. Is he not fit? And has he not been merited for this? For he was saved from the consuming fire. That's it.
Hmm.
The accuser, that was it. There was no war in heaven. There was nothing. It was the judge has spoken. The evidence is incontroversial. Hush, Satan. I got this. But that's his job, is to accuse. Created by
That's
God
right.
for you, for your betterment.
And he is not an equal. He is an angel status. He is not an equal to anybody.
He has no place. He's not setting up an army against God because
No, he's not a fallen angel either.
you can't this you can't just make this a screwdriver. I'm sure there's a way, one way or another, it could be done. Maybe get a corner of it went up, but this will never be a screwdriver.
No.
This and Hasatan, Satan, cannot be a ruler of anything. He's not there to rule. He's not there to rebel from God. He's to get you to test your goodness and nothing more. He's important. You should thank him for it because
Yes, absolutely.
he's doing it for your betterment.
He's doing the job that God gave him. And
When you
he
go
has to ask God's permission to do things.
when you go up to bat, you don't just like strike out and never bat again. You're going to have to get up and bat again. Are you going to hit the ball? He's going to throw you curves. He's going to throw you things. It looks like he's going to hit you. He might intimidate you by throwing a ball that'll hit you. I'm talking baseball, by the way, for all the folks out of the U.S. He can throw a ball that'll make you duck because you'll be hit in the face without it. But in the end, you're the one who has to knock it out of the park, and that's what he's pitching it to you for. He's giving you every opportunity to knock it out of the park. All you gotta do is knock it out of the park. He can't do nothing. He can maybe help throw a ball at that point, but you know what I'm saying. When you face adversity, when you face an opportunity, when you face these tests, my goodness, I've been facing enough tests in my life, and I've failed a fat load of them. But I fail so that you won't.
Right.
Stuff. It's a lot easier to overcome your own evil inclination, your own temptation, than you think. It it takes some work, but it's there and it can be done. And I'm living proof. I should be dead by now. I should be away. I should be something. I should be on the street or something, but I'm not. And it's only because of Torah. It's only because of God's grace that I'm here. So um, it can be done. You can improve, and you don't need guilt and shame to approach God. And you shouldn't be worried about your guilt and shame when you approach God. You should just be honest with God. If you're guilty of something or if you're ashamed of something, talk to Him. But talk to Him. I know there's a proper way to, and a lot of rabbis that get onto me, but I'm just because there's a certain way and there's a certain procedure. I get that, but sometimes God's your dad, and sometimes you just have to talk to your dad, and
Hmm.
that's it. But I think people are afraid to talk to dad, and don't be.
Yeah, it's like the Christians say, wait till your father gets home. Yeah.
Fear him. You're imperfect. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you? How dare you talk to you? How dare you talk to God
Another
without an intercessor?
another definition for the word fear is awe.
Hmm.
So replace the word fear with awe. Be in awe of him. Don't be afraid. Be in awe. It's like, okay, this is God, and that's my dad. Whoa. You know?
I
Yeah,
just I just
it's
heard
like
Dylan dead.
that's a humbling experience right there. Just that right there is like take your happy ass down a notch. You know? It's
It's
like you're not Superman. You might be the son of Superman, but you ain't Superman.
no, and even then, he's there for you,
That's right.
and I bet he would probably really want to hear from you. Um,
Oh, absolutely, always.
Genuinely, just as yourself, talk to God. Great line in Independence Day, which blew me away because I just discovered Torah and Kabbalah and was trying to change the way I walked the world and whatnot. I went and saw this movie, this goofy movie, Independence Day. And in the
Good.
middle of it, one of the scientists, it was Jeff Goldblum. He goes to John Hirsch, who plays his dad, and his dad, you got to come with me. Aliens are coming, yada yada. And he couldn't do it, and he was conflicted about something. And it's like, what is it, Dad? And he goes, I haven't talked to God since your mom died. And that hit me in the theater, and I got misty, teary eyed. I'm with my buddies too. Um, but that hit me. It's like the idea, and this is 20 years ago, whenever that movie came out, the idea, talking to God. And I haven't talked to God, and he's saying this in like I haven't talked to Uncle Greg. I haven't, I haven't talked to Uncle Mo. I haven't talked to this person, and and that's when I really began to really embrace the idea that maybe I'm not worthless, and maybe I can cohabitate with God in the world. Maybe there's even a small part, even if it is just 1%. And that it's true. I don't know what God listens to or if he does, and maybe he does listen to me, but I can guarantee you this, he's given me enough and I can talk to him about it. He's given me enough to talk about. So talk to God. I tell it to my kids too. I don't think they do. It's hard raising them in a mixed faith family, but just talk to him. When no one's around, when no one's listening, it doesn't matter. You don't have to throw your face in the dirt, and there's got to be a reason why you do that. You just don't go into it that way, in my opinion. You don't go into a relationship with God groveling and sniveling and berating yourself. It's not how you. Yes, okay, you're a
If you're
sinner.
gonna
Whoops.
call yourself a piece of trash, so's God. That's what no, that's what the angels are gonna go back to tell God.
Okay,
Well, if
we have
he
a guy.
wants to
We
be a
have a guy
piece of
here.
trash, so be. Well, you know
Yeah,
what? If he wants to be a piece of trash, so be it.
we get this guy. He's a good guy, but he's been wallowing in the pigsty all day, and he caked himself. And
Hmm.
don't roll around in your own filth. You're a human being.
Hmm.
Of course you suck. You're human. Talk to God anyway, because
That's
that's what He
right.
wants. That's what I've been taught, and that's what I can gather. We have someone in the waiting room. Oh my
I
goodness! I hope he hadn't been there for too long. I hope he's still here.
I don't know.
Hello,
I
hello,
don't have
John.
the
Can you
public
read me?
chat.
Hello, John. Are you there?
I don't have the public chat, so I don't know.
Yeah, it was him, John. I guess he wanted to come in when I was busy. We're busy talking. I don't have the. I don't keep my browser open full screen.
Maybe you should hook up a second monitor. That way you don't have to mess with the first monitor, and you can do that.
I might start asking for tips. There's a facility here on Rumble that will allow you to donate $1, $2.
Oh,
Maybe I
well,
could be
yeah.
on a different computer in a different room with a green screen, and
Hmm.
you have to see the only clean section of the shack that there is.
The doors. Okay.
The door, yeah, the door, the antenna sticking up over there.
Send your signal.
So yeah, send your signal to the world. That's the Antron 99. That's what the half wave. I can't see all of it. It says to the world. The farther you get down,
It's okay.
that's the Antron 99. One heck of a great for the price, especially half wave citizen band 10-meter antenna. I would suggest it to anybody who's getting into CB right now or getting into radio. You want to get a CB, get that for your base station antenna, the Antron 99, A99. Okay. On that note, I think I've talked all I can talk about without going crazy on everybody. So we're going to end the Nexus here. Hey, every Thursday night, please come in. We love to have you here. John came in. I just missed him. I apologize. I'm not used to people coming in here anymore. No, really. Every Thursday night, 8 p.m. right here on Rumble. We also broadcast to X and to YouTube as well. And we've got years and years and years and years and years of worth of craziness. We used to get crazy on these hangouts and talk
Hmm.
stuff back in the day. And all that's over there at the YouTube channel, the Idol Smasher. Um, Rosalie, my other half on this. Any final words for the audience tonight?
Shabbat Shalom. I say that to everybody who participates. If you're not Jewish, it's okay. Be who God made you to be and do it correctly in the best way you can. So there's that. And
Amen.
full moon will be gone fairly soon.
Yes, strawberry moon, as the Indians
Yeah,
or
it was.
Indians, Native Americans say. They call it the strawberry moon.
Mhm.
It's when you get to go out and pick the strawberries,
Yeah.
which we find folks would pick them all and give them to the priests,
There
because it
you
would
go.
be the first fruits. All
Hmm.
right, y'all. Shabbat shalom. What she said next Thursday, 8 p.m. Hope to see you here. Be well.